Orky dorky dingle hoppers, let's take a look at 2.4, Code Your Own. Yeah. So, in Code Your Own, as you know, you can always write your own code, but some of you have been trying to sneak me, and you are putting gook in here and turning it in. And I'm on to you. I know what you're doing. And you'll get a 0 in the grade book when you do that. So don't do that. That's a waste of time, yours and mine, okay? So let's take a look over here at the requirements. So what I'm looking for in this assignment from you is some while loopage, okay? And I want to see the number of loop iterations based on the user's input. Iteration, remember, is the loop around the while loop train, okay? So how many times does it go back to the top and loop back around? That's an iteration. And then we need to see some conditionals with a break statement, okay? So how do we break out of the loop? Oh, but it does say that it's optional. So if you don't want to break out of your loop, you don't have to, I reckon. So here's some things that you can think about, things that you can do, just some suggestions. It says rewrite the Know Your Coder quiz where the user has to keep guessing for each question until they get it right. I don't remember that one. Maybe we did. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we did. So if you want to do that, you basically can go back, go find the assignment called Know Your Coder, and copy all that code and paste it in here and add in some while loops. Adapt it, modify it. Okay. Another thing you could do is a choose your own adventure story where some paths can take you back to earlier parts of the story. Ooh, intriguing. Or you could enter a bunch of test scores and print your grade average. So, out of the 3 that they leave you there, probably the bottom one is the easiest. If you're being a little lazy and you don't feel like doing a bunch of work, just saying. And then, of course, as always, you can make up your own, choose your own. What do I want to see? I want to see your use of while loopage. I want to see if you can make this thing iterate. I want to see if you can bust out of your loop and not create an infinite loop situation. We're not trying to create a black hole of infinite loopage here. But if you do run solution, what it's going to show you is the test score thing. So let me hit run solution and show you. It says please enter a test score and then hit the letter Q lowercase to finish. So basically we just type in some numbers. So let's see. Student of mine, what kind of grade have they gotten on their quizzes? So let's say they got a 100. And then let's say they got a 90, which is still an A. And let's say they fell asleep and got a 50. Okay. And then let's say they didn't come to class and got a 0. So if we add all them up and then I hit the letter Q, it ends it and then it averages it out to be a score of 60. Okay. So that's how the code's got to work. You got to take everything they give you, all the test scores, and then you've got to divide them by the number of test scores you have to get an average. And then you got to tell the people. You got to tell the people what their score is, okay? So let's jump in here. So the first thing you're going to do is change the title. And you're going to say whatever it is you're going to do, okay? So tell me. So in this instance, we're going to create the test score average, AVERAGE, averager. I don't even think that's a word, but that's okay. And then description. Average, averages your input scores. Okay? So don't forget to do that part, folks. All right? So now, notice. The canvas is blank, autists. The canvas is blank. So if you need more spaces, and you probably do, just put your cursor somewhere there in the middle and hit enter. Please don't put your cursor up here and hit enter because you're going to create everything to be a comment, and then you're going to be like yelling at me like something's wrong. You got a bug and you can't fix it. And I'll be like, duh, you created your extra spaces inside your comment tag. And just don't be that person. Okay, don't do that. So I'm going to start right up here around line 8. And the first thing I've got to do is I've got to set up some variables here. I've got data that I'm going to have to store. So what am I going to call these variables? Well, let's call them something that makes sense. So first I need a total. because I know I'm going to be mathing these scores, right? And we're going to be looking for the total, the average, all that good stuff, all that goodness. So total is going to start out at a 0. And then I need number scores. All right, so we're going to call that number underscore scores, score. And then we're going to equal that to 0, because, you know, placeholders. And then we're going to get current underscore score and equal that to 0. Now be careful, because this one is scores with an S. This one is just score, okay? Don't get confused, folks. Don't get confused. So right around line 12-ish or somewhere at the top, we're going to start out by printing. Print, parenthesis, quotation mark, and we're going to say grade calculator, quotation mark, parenthesis. All right? And then we're going to print our ye old favorite thing to print, and that's the dotted line that we use to separate things. That's kind of weird, don't you think? Why do we use that dotted line? It's weird. So this next thing is a comment tag, and this is our main loopage. Okay? Why am I putting this here? Just so you know, my coder geniuses. All right, this is our main loop. Do you need to add that comment tag? Not really. I mean, but it's good practice, because the best coders add comment tags, right? Okay, so what are we doing for our main loop? Well, we're going to need a while. Okay, so while current score is not, that's exclamation point equal, is not the letter Q. Okay, I even memorized the foods that start with the letter Q. Ooh, bonus points if you can tell me the movie that came from. All right, so while current score is not equal to the letter Q, meaning they didn't click the word Q, a letter Q, and say they were finished. Remember, think back to seconds ago when we ran the, we ran the sample. Remember the letter Q busted us out of the loop? Okay. So while we have not typed the letter Q, we got to get some stuff. So we're going to get score. Again, this is a comment tag, folks. This is a comment tag, okay? I'm just doing this for you, because I know some of y'all are like, oh, I don't listen to GPI. I put my headphones on and fake it and listen to YouTube, okay? So this is for you. This is for you people, all right? So how are we going to get score? We go current underscore score gets input, all right? Because the people have to give us the input, all right? Please enter a test score. And then we got to remind them, enter Q to finish. Okay? Got to remind them of that. So leave some spaces, quotation mark, parenthesis. Okay? All right. So now, if current underscore score gets, equals, not gets, equals the letter Q, we are going to break. Break! All right? That's how we bust out. We be busting out. Okay? So that's how that works. Now, let's jump down here. I need to get out of the inner conditional situation back to my normal while loop situation. And on this part, that is our keep running totals section. Okay, again, totally type that if you want. I'm typing it for you non-listener peoples out there so you can see it on your screen. So this is total plus equal float. Ooh, we're going to use a float. That means we're going to be able to use some decimal pointages in here. That's amazing. So float current underscore score. We got to turn that into a float so we can math it, right? We want to math it. And then after we do that, we're going to go number underscore scores. Don't forget the S on that one. Number scores. You hear the S? There's an S there. Plus equal 1. Now, why am I doing that? Now, think about how we create an average. We add them all up and we divide by what? Ladies and gentlemen, we divide by how many numbers we had, right? So we need to know how many numbers we had so that we can divide properly, okay? Divide properly. All right, so that is done. Now, let's do some average calculation. And what am I going to do? I'm going to create a comment tag so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to say average calculation. Okay? All right, so this is that section. So now, how do I do average calculation? Here, let me scoot this up for you so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm going to go average, AVG, equals total divided by, that is the question mark button, the forward slash, okay, that's the divided by, number underscore scores, okay. So the total number divided by how many numbers they were, total. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. Now we're going to print, parenthesis, quotation mark, and say your average test score is, colon, space, quotation mark, plus, we are concatenating str, parenthesis, avg, parenthesis, double parentheses. Don't forget it. Double parentheses. Okay, so what do we do here? So we floated our total score, our current score, so we could math it, right? So total plus equals float current score. That's our total. Then down here, we created the average. So we divided the total by how many numbers we typed in. So if I type in 3 test scores, we're going to divide by 3. If I type in 7 test scores, we're going to divide by 7 because that's how averages work. And then right here, this line is going to print whatever that average is finally. So let's test and see how close we are. So please enter a test score. So I'm going to say 99. And then I'm going to say 88. I'm going to say 77. I'm going to say 66. Okay, and that's 4 of them, right? So I'm going to do a small letter Q to break out, and it averages them. So it averaged 99 plus 88 plus 77 plus 66, and divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, divided by 4. So then that becomes 82.5. Now, you don't believe me? You don't believe me? Let's do it like this. What if I said 5 plus 5 is what? 10? What's 10 divided by 2? Is it 5? Probably. So let's go Q. Oh, look, it is. So that's how the math be mathin', yo. Okay, math be mathin'. There you go. So to make up for all the whining and all the hysteria when we had to do the zodiac, the last Know Your Coder, or Code Your Own, not Know Your Code, geez. Here is a nice, short, simple holiday gift to you, all wrapped up easy as pie, done in 10 minutes or less. All right, toodles.